Holy sh! Hello dear internet people, Richie here. I don't know about you guys, but if there's one thing that I love in video games, it's good combat. And the game I'm about to show you is unique in this regard. Personally, I would even call its approach to combat revolutionary. It is still in early access for the price of around $15, but without any further ado, let me present to you Exanima. A game which, in unaccustomed hands, might look a bit like a drunk fighting simulator, but given some time and practice, actually transforms into a wonderfully deep and elegant combat experience. While there are certainly a lot of games out there that have strengths to their own combat, Exanima really excels in the way it makes you feel in a face-off between you and your opponent. It's methodical, brutal, and it is damn well personal. Before jumping into one of the free available game modes, you'll have to create a character. Give your fighter a name, perhaps some hair, and if you're not a mean f***, you might as well give him or her a weapon if the mode allows it. But we'll get to the modes a bit later on. The game's foundation and biggest selling point are the underlying physics on which the game is built upon. The combat system is steep. The learning curve is steep. When fighting your opponent, you have to time your attacks, move intelligently, and be ready to block incoming attacks. All at the same time, which at first can be a bit overwhelming due to the game's rather unintuitive controls. While at first glance the control layout seems to be the same as with most games, the tricky part comes into play with your in-game cursor. This serves as point of orientation for your character, an anchor point if you so will. Every bit of movement your fighter performs will always be relative to this point. At the same time, you'll heavily rely on this cursor in order to initiate attacks from either left or right. Speaking of attacking, double-clicking will initiate an overhead attack, while holding down the Alt key during an attack will initiate a thrust attack. Whenever you're not attacking yourself, your fighter will automatically enter a defensive stance and attempt to block incoming attacks himself. However, because of the physics-based nature of the game, a successful block is never fully guaranteed unless you're very skilled. This is where using your cursor will help you to position your fighter's body or weapon towards the incoming attack and thus increasing the chance of a successful block. So, whereas many games are easy to learn and hard to master, Exanima is a bit hard to learn and even harder to master. But fear not, because this game is already a lot of fun even when you're new to it, and it has a very high skill ceiling should you want to master it. Given some time and practice, you'll soon learn things such as when it's time to attack and when to rather stay put. After all, one poorly timed attack can seal your fate. Given even a bit more time and practice, you'll soon be able to perform feint attacks, outstep your opponent, and you'll start to involve footwork into your attacks to gain greater momentum. In the different modes there are several difficulty tiers, which means you start off fighting people that were given no armor and basically nothing but a stick to defend themselves. Cut and cleave your way up the ladder and face off against tougher enemies, wearing better equipment and using different strategies to send you to your grave. In my own humble opinion, the AI is very fun to play against and provides an actual challenge, especially on high difficulty tiers. Another great feature is how different physical attributes, both in terms of weapons as well as your fighters, will influence the dynamics of the fight. Your fighter's body type and height will affect things such as his center of gravity as well as the power behind his attacks. Next are the weapons. A weapon can be blunt, sharp or both, and it will have a certain weight which will have an impact on your ability to wield it. While blunt heavy weapons such as a sledgehammer might leave a nice imprint on your opponent's shiny armor and knock it close to the ground, they're slow and make it harder to block incoming attacks. Sharp and more agile weapons such as a longsword can kill someone with ease if this person doesn't wear any protection, but if there is armor, the blade might not cut through it. Speaking of protection, armor will only be effective in the right place at the right time. That's a nice head you have on your shoulders. Why not protect it with that shiny new helmet you just got? Well, it certainly looks nice and protects your skull, but it doesn't really protect anything below your neck, does it? This game has an abundance of beautifully designed medieval armor, and you can even equip the different parts to your liking. On top of the armor's magnificent visuals, the sound design is just as good. It should be mentioned that this game has sort of a permadeath feature, which in terms of consequences will vary depending on the game mode you're playing on. Speaking of game modes, the game currently offers 3. The one you've been seeing mostly in my videos so far is from the practice mode. Here, the game will let you go up against a preset number of enemies, which will get tougher as you move up the ladder. Whenever you defeat one, you can take his or her equipment and you'll even get to keep it in case you die and have to restart all over. In order to do that, just go close to the enemy, open up your inventory, double click on your opponent and then drag and drop whatever you like onto your character. In the arena mode, you'll first create your manager and then hire weak recruits who haven't got any perks yet. So, whereas in practice mode you get to start with what could already be considered a fully upgraded killing machine, here you'll instead get access to what's essentially as deadly as a potato. Long story short, in this mode you'll try to level up your fighters by letting them participate in different kind of fighting events where they'll face off against procedurally generated opponents and hopefully won't die, but rather bring home some coin for you to spend on shiny new armor. The last mode was originally the game's first and only mode, if I'm not mistaken. It's a dungeon crawler set in a low fantasy setting where you'll have to make your way up through several floors and fight against different opponents than those you've seen before, but best find out for yourself. It should be noted that Exanima as a whole is actually a prequel to another much bigger game called Sui Generis, which will use the game mechanics of Exanima and bring them into a fully fledged open world RPG set in the world above the dungeons in which Exanima takes place. Both games are being developed by Bare Metal Entertainment and are worked on simultaneously. All there is left to say now is thank you. First of all, thank you Bare Metal Entertainment for creating such a unique game. I really hope both your games will get the attention they deserve. And, of course, a big thank you if you've watched this video. I've actually never done a video like this and this has been more sort of a passion project. Nonetheless, a like and perhaps even a subscribe would be deeply appreciated. Thanks so much guys, see you next time, bye.
Oi, Richie, we're not done here. Who the hell do you think you bloody are? Calling me a potato and all that? You f***ing little I'm gonna come over there, I'm gonna rip your f***ing arse off me, you little f***ing